Hi everyone, we meet again. So today we'll learn a new topic entitled Reading for G's, focusing on locating keywords. Ready? Shall we begin? First thing first, I need you to figure out the missing words in this short passage. Most Americans can speak only one. Europeans, however, several. As a result, Europeans think, are unfriendly and unwilling to communicate with them. Did you manage to find the answers? Let's compare it with the actual answers. Most Americans can speak only one language. Europeans, however, speak several. As a result, Europeans think Americans are unfriendly and unwilling to communicate with them. How did you manage to do it? Figuring out those missing words. Actually, you can guess the missing words based on its context. Ever wonder what is context? Context is all about figuring out the meaning of words by how it is used in the sentence or in the paragraph where it appeared. For instance, you stumble across this sentence. Phobias such as fear of heights, water, or confined spaces are difficult to eliminate. You don't know what's the meaning of phobias, but you can guess this word based on the context, how it is utilized itself. So here in this statement or in this sentence, the author has given you the examples of phobias. For example, fear of heights, water, or confined spaces. There it goes. You know what is the meaning of phobias. So how you can identify these clues? You can always look at the other words in the similar sentence or look at the sentences that come before and after, or even look for the word stated in another way in the passage. We can find the meaning of unknown word or words that are so alien to you in many ways. We can spot the clues in a sentence that shows definition. What is definition? Normally, the author will define the unknown word immediately according to its use. You can always spot the clue through brief definition, synonym, or restatement using punctuation such as commas, parentheses, or dashes. And be verb shows the two ideas are the same. For example, a chemical bond is a strong force that holds two or more atoms together. You don't know what's the meaning of chemical bond here, but you can guess it based on how the author portrays the sentence itself. A strong force that holds two or more atoms together. And spot the clue given by the author, utilizing is as your be verb. Same goes with the second example. A dialect is a form of speech from a specific region. Spot the clue utilized by the author, is as your be verb. And automatically you know that the author is giving you the definition of what dialect is all about. It is a form of speech from a specific region. Synonym. A writer often uses a more familiar word or word with a similar meaning to make a difficult word understandable. For example, in the first statement, ballet students appear so lithe, they are so limber and flexible. This is your first time encountering this word. You don't know what's the meaning of lithe, but you can always guess it based on how the author portrays the word in the sentence itself. They are so limber and flexible. The author has given you the synonym of lithe. Supple, flexible, agile, limber. Someone is able to move and bend their body easily and gracefully. As for the second example, the cataract was spectacular. The steep waterfall dropped abruptly 80 feet. Maybe you was wondering, cataract normally refers to layers of a person's eye that prevent them from seeing properly because of maybe they were age or due to illness. But somehow in this sentence, That definition does not fit into the context because the author has given you its clue through synonym. What is cataract? It is a large waterfall. Why? The steep waterfall dropped abruptly 80 feet. Next, you can always guess the meaning of unfamiliar words through restatement. Close to synonym, but restatement differs when a difficult word is restated in a simpler form using commas. Take a look at the first example given. The poetry was sublime, lofty and moving, and brought tears to my eyes. So basically here, the word sublime, the author restated in a simpler connotation. Sublime, it is notable, magnificent, glorious. If you describe as sublime, what you imply here is that it has a wonderful quality that affects you deeply because it is lofty, moving. It brought tears to your eyes. Same goes with the second statement. The author utilizes restatement in order to define the word depopulated. The village was depopulated. Most of the residents died or moved, but the livestock remained untouched. So what's the meaning of depopulated here? You can infer it through the statement of most of the residents died or moved. Only livestock remain untouched. So basically, the meaning of depopulated here is all about reduced in its population. How about contrast? Here, the author utilizes words that carries opposite meaning, or we call it antonym. You can spot clues in the statement such as word, but, however, in contrast to, on the other hand. Take a look at the first example. The gentleman was portly, but his wife was thin. So here, in order for you to guess what is the meaning of portly, take a look at the remaining statement. His wife was thin. And the author utilized word but to give you a clue that it carries the opposite meaning. So the author utilized but as a clue to show contrastive ideas. So the meaning of portly is stout, fat, overweight, or even plump. Moving on to the second statement. The mayoral candidate praised the town council, but the mayor deprecated it. So here, in this particular statement, if you don't know what's the meaning of deprecated, you can always refer or guess it based on how the author portrayed the word. Again, but is utilized as a clue to show contrastive idea. So the word deprecated is all about belittle, express disapproval or protest against something. How about explanation? It is similar to definition, but it is longer, and usually you can spot it in more than one sentences. You can always find it in one or more different sentences or in the first sentence of the statement. For example, the chrome is beginning to corrode. It shows signs of pitting and of being eaten away gradually. So the meaning of corrode here is all about consume, eat away, gradually destroyed by a chemical or by rust. Because you can always guess the meaning when you read the next statement. It shows signs of pitting and of being eaten away gradually. The second example given, it was a martial parade. Signs of military were everywhere. Everyone was in uniform. Guns, cannon, and tanks were on display and jets flew overhead. So here martial is interrelated, is a word that is used to describe things related to soldier or war. Because here, take a look at the clues given by the author. Military, uniforms, guns, cannons, tanks, jets. It is all interrelated with military aspect. The third example given. The puppy was a complete bother and annoyance to all neighbors. It was a continual nuisance. Here, the author has provided you with explanation what is the meaning of nuisance. The puppy itself brings discomfort. The puppy itself is annoying, causing inconvenience, obnoxious to the neighbors. Furthermore, you can always guess the meaning of those unfamiliar words through example. Example is given by the author in order to explain unfamiliar concept or term to their readers. Author will always utilize punctuation, such as commas or hyphens, or signal words, such as, for example, for instance, to illustrate specifically in order for readers to guess those unfamiliar words. Take a look at the first example. Legumes, such as peas and beans, produce pods. If you don't know what's the meaning of legumes, you can always infer or guess it, in which the author has given you the clue of signal word here, such as giving you the example of legumes, such as peas and beans, produce pods. So here, legumes is a general term used to describe the seeds of plants from legume family, which includes beans, peas, lentils, and peanuts. How about the second example? Forest floors are frequently covered with fungi, molds, mushrooms, and mildews. And spot punctuation used by the author. You have hyphen there. So here the author has given you the examples of fungi, molds, mushrooms, and mildews. So fungi is a plural of fungus. Fungus refers to any member of organisms that lack chlorophyll, lives through stems and roots, reproduce by spores, and lives as parasites. Moving on to inference. Here, the author will utilize reasoning and prior knowledge, and readers' experience will give a common sense clues to the meaning of unfamiliar words. For example, since Reginald was nervous, he brought his rabbit foot talisman with him to the exam. So here, talisman, rabbit foot. You need to have the connotation, the idea, what rabbit foot is all about. He was nervous. He brought a rabbit foot to the exam. So automatically, based from your previous knowledge or schemata, you can guess. Actually, talisman is all about lucky charm, amulet, an object which you believe has magic powers to protect you or bring you luck. Same goes with the second statement. His alibi was upheld when John's friends offered personal testimony, letters of documentation, and 3 videotapes showing that he was present at the party. So here, alibi, you can infer from the statement. Actually, it is evidence. The defense fact that an accused person was somewhere else than at the scene of the crime with which the person is charged. Alright, class. Even though you can always guess the meaning of unfamiliar words based from its context, how it is utilized in a sentence, somehow there are limitations that you need to take into consideration. Contextual clues only gives you immediate definition for a particular context. Because you're guessing, it seldom leads to a precise definition. Hence, you need to double check its actual meaning in your dictionary. At times, maybe if you are unlucky, the passage does not contain any contextual clues at all that can help you to guess what are the meaning of those unfamiliar words. Alright everyone, now it's time for you to implement what you have learned from our lesson. You are assigned to be a contextual clues detective in which you have to define what is the meaning of bolded words in red. Ready? Take a look at the first statement. He seemed quite free and easy with his friends, but was quite inhibited at large parties. Can you guess what is the meaning of the word inhibited here? Did you notice the clue given by the author through antonym, the word but in the statement? So inhibited means shy, reserved, or guarded. If you say that someone is inhibited, you mean that they find it difficult to behave naturally and show their feelings. How about the second statement? Embassies typically follow well-established protocols or accepted procedures for seating guests at a government dinner. So here, protocol means it is a system of rules about the correct way to act in formal situations. It's a code of behavior, manners. How about the third statement? Corona refers to the outermost part of the sun's atmosphere. Here, corona does not mean the coronavirus, okay? But it carries the meaning of the outermost region of the sun's atmosphere, visible as a faint halo during a solar eclipse. In this statement, the author has defined the meaning of corona through definition. Spots the clue refers to in the sentence. Moving on to the next statement. Most condiments, such as pepper, mustard, and catsup, are used to improve the flavor of foods. What is the meaning of condiments? You can always guess it from the statement. The author has given examples of condiments with the utilization of linkers, such as in the sentence, such as pepper, mustard, and catsup. Hence, a condiment is a substance that you add to food when you eat it in order to improve its taste or flavors. The next statement. Some city dwellers are affluent, others live in poverty. So in this statement, if you don't know what's the meaning of affluent, you can always guess it based from the context. The author utilizes comparison. City dwellers affluent, others live in poverty. So the author is giving the opposite of poverty, which is having a lot of money, in order for you to know what is the meaning of affluent. And finally, the wallabies at the zoo look like kangaroos. The word look like. The author has given you the example. How do wallabies look like? So wallabies is a plural of wallaby. It is herbivorous marsupials. Look similar but smaller than kangaroo. So we have come to the end of our lecture. See you in the next video. Bye.